The critical analysis essay that I read was A Forced Solitude, Mary Shelley and the Creation of Frankenstein's Monster. This was written by Marcia Tillotson, and I believe Tillotson's thesis is that Frankenstein is a novel that portrays a creature full of rage and frustration due to their exclusion from society, which is a direct comparison of Mary Shelley's life. This essay also represents the broader experience of women in the 1800s and how they were treated. Tillotson argues these similarities between Mary Shelley and the creature by first referring to Mary's early life experiences. Mary Shelley's early life and her experiences contributed to her frustrations of feeling isolated. From a young age, Mary Shelley hated the fact that she was excluded from intellectual conversations that men had, and always despised the fact that it was mainly due to her gender and appearance. Shelley's early life described in this essay supported Tillotson's thesis since Mary Shelley was abandoned by her mother at birth, which is just like how Frankenstein fled when his child was born. Shelley, intentionally or not, had Frankenstein do to his creature what Shelley's mother, Mary Wollstonecraft, did to her. This made Shelley sympathize with the creature, but did not make readers feel the same. Not only was the creature similar to Mary Shelley, but also to all women during times of segregation and discrimination. Tillotson introduces two women who gave their opinions about the situation during these times, which supported her thesis of Mary Shelley and the creature's similar frustration with society. These two women were Ellen Moores and Claire Claremont. Ellen Moores, a writer, stated that women writers like Mary Shelley use Gothic mechanisms to express their feelings of frustration that rise when you're an intellectual woman in society. She also stated that female writers did this to discreetly communicate their true feelings, since they had no other outlet to do so. And in the article, Tillotson highlighted Claire Claremont's account to Lord Byron in, quote, that she had 10 times rather be his male friend than his mistress, end quote, since she also did not like the fact that she was excluded from conversations. A quote from the article that explains both the creature in the novel and women during the 1800s is, quote, the agony that makes him kill is quite specifically the agony of a creature whose best hopes for himself and others cannot be realized or even communicated, end quote. This quote also can be applied to Mary Shelley and how her frustration with society came from her isolation. These two women supported the argument that Mary Shelley and the creature are similar, but there are also two other people who contributed to this similar frustration: Mary Shelley's husband and the one who asked the group to write ghost stories. Percy Shelley and Lord Byron were the main contributors to Mary Shelley's isolation. In Geneva, Percy and Lord Byron excluded Mary Shelley from their sailing trips and intellectual conversations, which is similar to how the creature was excluded from the activities of humanity. These two would frequently leave Mary, which would force her to watch from afar. Tillotson stated that Byron's dislike of dining with women, his disgust with Claire Claremont, and other diminished views of women made Shelley feel more and more left out. These two poets instill the facts that women could not be included in society due to their appearance, despite their intellectual capacity. This is just like how the creature was treated in Frankenstein. There is still one more person who greatly contributed to Mary's frustration with society. The fourth piece of evidence in arguing the similarities of Mary and the creature is Polidori. John Polidori was a writer and physician, and was a part of the group in Switzerland that was asked by Lord Byron to write a ghost story. He is a symbol of Mary's frustration with society and her male poets, Byron and Percy. Percy Shelley and Lord Byron did not like Polidori even before they got to Geneva, but he would still take part in gatherings with these two poets since he was male. Polidori contributed to the thesis that women were just like the creature, excluded and sometimes hated. In conclusion, I really like this critical essay of the novel Frankenstein because it gave me new insights on how the author, Mary Shelley, is really connected with this story, and how Frankenstein doesn't just represent a monster's experience in the human world, but rather what an intellectual woman had to suffer in society during the 1800s. I was surprised to see the many similarities between Mary and the creature, and became even more interested when Tillotson stated that the creature represented the oppression women faced throughout their lives, and how they're always looking into the cottage from the outside, just like the creature did. Thank you.